Memorial Day Cookout, 2024. My cousins held up a spoonful of my famous potato salad, laughed, and said loud enough for the whole bloodline to hear. Tastes like regret, Auntie. I just smiled, stirred the bowl real slow, and said, y'all ain't tasted the real flavor yet. 6 months later their food truck was shut down, their bank account empty, and they were begging me for the recipe, on their knees. If you've ever had family steal what's sacred and try to sell it back to the world, hit that subscribe button right now. This is the sweetest, saltiest, fully legal recipe, revenge ever served cold. And yes, baby, I'm the auntie who added the seasoning. My name is Dolores Marie Washington, Auntie D to every niece, nephew, godchild, and church baby who ever needed a plate or a prayer. 67 years old, Birmingham, Alabama, born in the back bedroom of a shotgun house on 11th Court Southwest while thunder rolled and my mama hollered like she was birthing the storm itself. That recipe book started with my great-grandmother, Mama Hattie, born into slavery in 1859 and freed at 6 years old with nothing but the taste of her mama's cooking in her mouth. She couldn't read or write, so every recipe was measured by hand, a pinch between these two fingers, a palmful of cornmeal, a slow count while the roux turned the color of a penny. When she got too old to stir, she sat my grandmother Ruth on her knee and made her memorize every ratio by heart. My mama, Cora Lee, wrote the first pages in 1932 with a pencil stub on the back of WPA flyers. She added her own touches, the smoked neck bones in the greens, the splash of pickle juice in the potato salad that makes folks moan, the 3 kinds of onions in the dressing because one ain't enough to tell the whole truth. I was 8 years old the first time Mama let me hold the book. It smelled like bacon grease, vanilla, and the inside of her Bible all mixed together. She sat me on the counter, tied her apron around my neck like a cape, and said, Dolores Marie, this ain't just food. This here is love measured out in teaspoons. Guard it like you guard your name. Every Sunday after church we cooked together. She'd hum Precious Lord while I peeled potatoes so thin you could read scripture through them. When Daddy left in '66 and didn't come back, Mama fed us with those recipes, sold plates out the back door for 50 cents a piece so the lights stayed on. When my brother got killed in Vietnam, she cooked for 3 days straight and fed half of Titusville at the repast. When I buried my only child, my sweet Michael, taken at 19 by a drunk driver, I opened that book and cooked until my hands bled, because grief don't know what to do with empty hands. Mama made me swear on her deathbed in 1998. Don't never let these recipes die, D. Don't never let nobody twist what we bled for. I kept that promise for 26 years. I turned down cookbooks, TV shows, big checks from white ladies wanting to elevate our food. I cooked for weddings where the bride couldn't afford a caterer. I fed children whose mamas were locked up. I carried that book in a fireproof box under my bed like it was the original tablets Moses brought down. Every smudge, every tear stain, every fingerprint of flour is a prayer from a woman who ain't here no more but still feeding her people through me. So when Tanya, my first cousin once removed, the one I changed diapers for, the one I paid college tuition for when her mama got sick, asked to borrow the book, I hesitated. But blood don't never feel like a stranger, do it? I handed it over in January with my chest tight, telling myself, she just want to make a little extra money. Family help family. 3 months later she brought it back in a plastic grocery bag like it was junk mail. I opened it at the kitchen table and felt my heart stop. Pages were dog-eared. Some were missing. My great-grandmother's handwriting had been traced over in blue ink like they were trying to make it cleaner. The rubber band was gone. The pressed violet Mama put between the cobbler pages in 1973 was crumbled to dust. I sat there until the sun went down, running my fingers over the places where Mama Hattie's hand had rested, where Mama Cora had cried into the cornbread recipe the night Daddy left, where I had written Michael's name in the margin the day he took his first steps. I didn't cry then. I got quiet. The kind of quiet that comes right before lightning splits the sky. I went to my bedroom, opened the fireproof box, and took out the backup copy I made in 2015. Every page scanned in 4K, Every invisible UV watermark glowing under blacklight like a choir of ancestors saying, "We still here, baby. Now go get ours." So when my cousin Tanya and her grown daughters Shay and Mia asked to borrow the book in January 2024 to make a little side money, I should have known better. But family is family. I said yes. They kept it 3 months. Brought it back with pages photocopied, corners bent, and a brand new food truck parked in my driveway called Taine's Soul Bites with my potato salad as the signature item. First bite at the family reunion, Tanya had the nerve to say, we tweaked it a little, made it modern. Yours always tasted like old people." The whole tent laughed. I felt every chuckle like a slap. I went home, opened that book, and saw my microscopic watermarks were gone from the copies. But I'm old school smart. Every single recipe in that book has a secret ratio only I know, 1/8 teaspoon of a certain seasoning that don't show up in print. And every photocopy I ever let leave my house? I put an invisible UV watermark in the corner with my initials and the date. I called my goddaughter Lakeisha, copyright lawyer out of Atlanta. Then I went online. Within 2 weeks, Taine's Soul Bites had 42K TikTok followers, a spot at the Atlanta Food and Wine Festival, and investors begging to franchise. All off my recipes. I created a fake account, ordered 3 catering trays, paid extra for delivery, and had them sent to Lakeisha's office. She had the food lab tested. Exact match, down to my great-grandma's smoked paprika ratio. August 2024 I filed in federal court. Copyright infringement, theft of trade secrets, unfair competition. Asked for $450,000 in damages and an injunction. The day the papers were served, Tanya blew my phone up crying. It's just potato salad." I said, "Baby, it's my legacy. And you just sold it by the pound." The story went viral on Black Twitter when somebody leaked the complaint. Family steals 100-year-old Black recipes, gets sued by the Auntie. Their food truck got 1-star bombed into oblivion. Investors pulled out. The health department mysteriously showed up 3 times in 1 week. By Thanksgiving their truck was wrapped in chains at an impound lot, and Shay was working the drive-thru at Checkers. December 23 they showed up at my door, 3 grown women with Tupperware bowls in hand, eyes swollen. Tanya spoke first. "Auntie D, can we have the real recipe back? We'll give you credit. We'll pay. Please." I invited them in, sat them at my kitchen table, and served them each a big bowl of my potato salad, made fresh that morning. They took 1 bite and started crying harder. I smiled and said, "That's the taste of ownership, babies. Some things you can't copy. You gotta earn."